Jennifer Aniston has recently spoken again about the turbulent period involving Brad Pitt and Angelina Jolie. What immediately grabbed public attention was not just the love triangle that once dominated headlines around the world, but her admission that it left her with a little bit of post-traumatic stress disorder. When an A-list star, long admired for her wit, charm, and resilience, openly acknowledges deep psychological scars, the public is forced to confront an uncomfortable truth. Behind the dazzling lights of Hollywood, there lies a very human vulnerability. And here, this is not merely a personal story of a famous couple. It is a mirror reflecting how media, audiences, and the entertainment industry at large exploit private pain and turn it into a commodity for mass consumption. Back in 2005, when Jennifer Aniston and Brad Pitt divorced, it was not treated as an ordinary separation between two adults. Instead, it was packaged into a global drama. Where Angelina Jolie was cast as the third character, the media constructed a love triangle narrative, and audiences eagerly assumed the roles of both spectators and judges. Tabloids branded it the love triangle of the century. TV shows dissected every look, every smile, every paparazzi photograph. Even the early days of social media fueled polarized camps, Team Jen versus Team Angelina. For the public, it was an irresistible soap opera. But for those inside, it was nothing short of a living hell. Jennifer Aniston confessed that she felt like she had been put on the operating table, her private life no longer her own. Even when she stayed silent, that silence was interpreted as weakness or defeat. When she did speak, every word was twisted, amplified, and turned into clickbait. In a recent interview, Aniston emphasized, "The press back then was like a sport." In other words, the personal heartbreak of a woman losing her marriage was transformed into a competitive arena, a mass spectacle in which everyone felt entitled to participate, judge, and even relish. From a social perspective, the Aniston-Pitt-Jolie divorce is one of the clearest examples of celebrity culture at its most ruthless, where media and audiences simultaneously construct and destroy idols. Celebrities don't just live through their craft, they become products for public consumption. From fashion choices, daily habits, to personal tragedies. The cruel reality is this: the more voracious the appetite, the more aggressively the media exploits, creating a vicious cycle in which the subjects have little to no escape. In a recent interview with Vanity Fair, Jennifer Aniston described that period as the years of a noisy love triangle. The actress, now in her 60s, recalled how she was suffocated by relentless media scrutiny over her personal life. The blonde star reflected, "For people, it was a form of entertainment. If they didn't have television dramas to watch, they had tabloids. Sadly, it happened, and it really affected me a lot." Jennifer and Brad Pitt were once Hollywood's golden couple before they divorced in 2005. Not long after their split, Brad Pitt went public with his relationship with Angelina Jolie, and the couple welcomed their first child together. The two were believed to have fallen for each other while working on Mr. and Mrs. Smith, a time when Pitt was still married to Aniston. That revelation became the center of international media attention. After Jennifer and Brad announced their divorce, many articles expressed sympathy for Aniston, portraying her as the betrayed wife. At the same time, Angelina Jolie and Brad Pitt also faced backlash from a segment of fans. In a 2005 Vanity Fair interview, when asked about seeing photos of her ex-husband Brad Pitt intimately close with Jolie on the set of Mr. and Mrs. Smith, Jennifer admitted, "The world was shocked, and so was I. If I said I wasn't angry, hurt, or embarrassed, then I'd be a robot. He made his choices. He can do whatever he wants. We were divorced." Still, when asked about Brad Pitt in that same year, the Friends star offered kind words about her ex-husband. "I still respect and love him. I don't regret loving him. We had 7 very intense years together, learning, experiencing, going through so much. I truly cherish that. It was a beautiful relationship, but complicated," she said. In 2016, after Brad Pitt and Angelina Jolie confirmed their divorce, the Hollywood actor attempted to rekindle a friendship with Jennifer Aniston. According to a close source, Brad reached out to apologize for how poorly he had handled their separation. In 2019, Pitt attended Aniston's 50th birthday celebration alongside many friends. By January 2020, the two shared a warm reunion at the Screen Actors Guild Awards. They held hands, greeted each other enthusiastically, and congratulated one another on their wins. In 2021, rumors circulated that Jennifer and Brad had reconciled, but she denied it. The actress clarified, "Brad and I are buddies. There's nothing strange about us talking to each other, except for those who might see a photo and want something to happen or imagine that something is happening. Over the years, Jennifer has focused on her career and entered new relationships. Nearly 2 decades after the breakdown of her first marriage, she looks back on those years with more clarity. Jennifer admitted that she is only human and not strong enough to be immune to everything. She said, "A lot of people said if you're famous, you have to accept it all, but that's not actually true." In her August conversation with Vanity Fair, she revealed, "I just remember how that 2005 interview really overwhelmed me. It was a vulnerable time. Yes, it's definitely something worthy of a memoir." The actress also confessed that for a long period after her first divorce, she struggled with anxiety. "I never knew what they would write about the things I shared. What would they twist my words into? I was genuinely anxious before every interview," she recalled. In the end, Jennifer learned to pick herself up and move forward. After splitting from Brad Pitt, she dated several fellow actors in the entertainment industry, all of whom spoke positively of her after their relationships ended. In 2011, she married the younger actor Justin Theroux, though their marriage lasted only 6 years. They separated in 2017 and had no children together. More recently, the actress has been romantically linked to hypnotherapist Jim Curtis. When it comes to Brad Pitt, he and Angelina Jolie share 6 children and were together for nearly a decade. The couple announced their divorce in 2016 and have since been locked in an 8-year legal battle over assets and custody. Today, the most striking reality is not the vast fortune they once built together, but something far more painful. Most of the children are no longer close to Brad Pitt and have stood firmly by Angelina Jolie's side in every legal dispute. This has been a devastating blow to Pitt, not as a Hollywood icon, but as a father who once dreamed of a large, happy family, only to see it fracture beyond repair. This raises difficult questions. How could a father, once celebrated as the embodiment of the ideal man, lose nearly all connection with his own children? Was it the result of his personal mistakes, the destructive pressure of a failed marriage, or a system, both legal and media-driven, that turned a private family tragedy into an endless public war? And more broadly, what does this situation reveal about the value of family, the hidden costs of fame, and the way society views celebrities once they fall from their glamorous pedestal? To understand, we must go back. In 2004, when rumors spread that Brad Pitt had fallen for Angelina Jolie during the filming of Mr. and Mrs. Smith, he, Jolie, and then-wife Jennifer Aniston were thrust into a global storm of scrutiny. The Brangelina romance quickly became a pop culture phenomenon. They adopted and gave birth to children, expanding their family to 6, spanning Asia, Africa, and their biological children. For the media, this was the perfect global family, glorified as a humanitarian symbol. But ironically, what had once been celebrated would later become a crushing weight once the relationship unraveled. The 2016 divorce marked a turning point. Once seen as the, quote, fairy tale love story come to life, Brangelina became the centerpiece of a drawn-out saga of breakups, lawsuits, custody battles, and financial disputes. The press spared no detail, from accusations of Pitt's misconduct on a plane, to drawn-out hearings over custody rights, to disputes over properties worth hundreds of millions. In all of this, the most painful element was the children's alignment with Angelina. They were seen accompanying their mother on red carpets and international trips, while Pitt was rarely photographed with them. For a man who had once declared his dream of raising a big family, this outcome is the deepest wound. Careers can be rebuilt, reputations can recover, but the loss of a bond between father and child is a scar that may never fully heal. From a societal perspective, this case highlights several issues. First, the matter of custody in high-profile divorces. Public opinion often defaults to the assumption that mothers are the safer, more natural caregivers. While this can be true, it can also fuel bias against fathers. Pitt, weighed down by negative press coverage and allegations, was at a clear disadvantage in the court of public opinion. Once the children absorbed that narrative, distance became almost inevitable. Second, it underscores the role of media in shaping family relationships. The Jolie-Pitt children grew up in an environment where every parental conflict was broadcast worldwide. How could they hold a balanced view of their father when headlines constantly portrayed him in a negative light? By framing the divorce as a hero versus villain story, the media not only influenced public perception, but arguably shaped the emotional loyalties of the children themselves. Looking back, Brad Pitt may see the cruel irony of his journey. The world once hailed him as a man who had it all: career, love, fame, family. But in the end, what remains are fractured ties with his own children. And that, more than any Oscar he may win, is the deepest loss of his life.